In today's video, we are looking at a simple but powerful concept called SMT Divergence. It stands for Smart Money Technique Divergence. Now, it happens when two related markets like Euro USD, GBP USD start moving in different directions. It's because these two pairs are related and they are supposed to move in the same direction. But when you spot that they started moving in different directions, you should have it that SMT Divergence is about to happen. Now, this small shift can tell us something big, like when a reversal might be coming. I will show you how to spot on your charts examples and explain it in a simple terms on how you can trade this strategy. What is SMT divergence? SMT divergence happens when two assets that normally move together suddenly show conflicting price action. For example, one makes a higher low signaling strength while the other makes a lower low signaling weakness. So here on this depicted price action, this shows us that these are two correlated pairs. For example, if this is GBP USD and this is Euro USD, we can see that there is a crack in correlation because this is making lower low in market structure while this is making lower high in the market structure, and this has confirmed that there is a crack in correlation, and this is what we call SMT divergence. Now, SMT relies on strong correlation. Now, we have to understand the correlations among pairs. We have symmetrical, that is positive correlation. Example, we have the BTC Ethereum, we have Euro USD, GBP USD. BTC and Ethereum are positively correlated, while Euro USD and GBP USD are not positively correlated, which means that GBP USD and Euro USD move together. If you see GBP is making higher high, Euro is also making higher high. If BTC is making higher low, Ethereum is making higher low. They move together. That is why they are positively correlated. But if you see a crack in this movement, this is what we call SMT, and this is positive SMT or symmetrical SMT. Now, the next one is inverse or negative SMT. That is when you see Bitcoin and DXY are moving in opposite direction. And why are they inverse? Let's say, for example, BTC is making higher high. DXY, which is the dollar, is supposed to make higher low because they move inversely. When one is high, the other one is going low. When the other one is going low, the other one is going higher. Let me show you an example here that will explain vividly how this symmetrical and inverse correlation works. So let's talk about the two types of SMT divergence, and within the two types of SMT divergence, we have the symmetrical and inverse. Here we have the bullish SMT, and under the bullish SMT we have symmetrical and inverse, while the bearish SMT we have symmetrical and also inverse correlation. Under the bullish, let's say, for example, this is GBP USD and then this is Euro USD. And then GBP USD is making lower low. Euro USD has failed to make lower low. Instead, it made lower high. Now, this shows us that this is a symmetrical correlation bullish. Why? Because we see a crack in correlation. Because Euro USD and GBP USD are supposed to move together, but we see Euro USD taking another direction. And this is what we call symmetrical correlation bullish. The next one is what we call the inverse correlation. I want you to look at this. If this is GBP USD making lower low, dollar is supposed to make what? Higher high. But when comparing between GBP USD and dollar, you discover that dollar failed to make what? An inverse correlation, because the dollar and the GBP USD are supposed to move inversely. GBP is going higher while dollar is going lower. But in the situation where it is going lower, which is supposed to form a lower high, as the GBP is making a lower low, but instead the dollar failed to lower high. For example, we see price dollar is making lower high. Then we will say that between GBP USD and the dollar, there is a crack in correlation, which shows that dollar is showing weakness and dollar is stronger. So let's take this in back. Like I've said, you see price is making lower low on GBP USD, DXY, which is dollar, is making higher high. Next one is that if Euro is making lower high, what are we supposed to have? We are supposed to have lower high, but in a situation where the dollar failed to make higher low instead of higher high. So let's look at the Euro. Now, if Euro is making lower high, the inverse correlated pair, which is the dollar, is supposed to make what? Higher low. But in a situation where the dollar fail to make higher low as inversely correlated with euro, then we see higher high, then we will say that there is a what crack in correlation between dollar and euro USD. Coming to the bearish SMT, we see GBP USD making higher high while euro is making higher low. This shows us that there is a crack in what? There's a crack in correlation. Now, the next one, if we see GBP USD making higher high, dollar is supposed to make lower low. But in a situation where dollar is making lower low as inversely correlated with GBP USD, we see GBP USD making higher low, then we say there is a what? Crack in correlation and there is SMT. The next one is euro. If euro is making higher low, dollar is supposed to make lower high. But when we see dollar is making lower high and euro is making higher high, then we will say there is what? There is a crack in correlation and we have SMT. So let's go to the chart and see it on the chart, how it's been spotted for market reversal. So here on the chart, we have GBP USD and Euro USD. Price is making lower low. But if you look at Euro, price is making lower high. Now, this shows a crack in correlation. Right from there, price change in direction and continue going higher. The next one is the GBP USD in comparison with dollar index. The dollar, which is at the bottom, is making higher. Now, because they're inversely correlated, the GBP USD is supposed to make what? Lower low. However, the reason why I have SMT with EU, because as the price is moving, EU failed to make what? Lower low. So looking at the SMT between these three correlated and inversely pair, you will see that Euro has failed to make what? Lower low. That's why we have lower high on Euro. Here we have the Euro chart. We see dollar is making higher high while Euro failed to make the lower low. So this shows the crack in correlation. So when looking at SMT for the foreign currency, you can take Euro USD and GBP USD and the dollar to look for crack in correlation among the pairs. Likewise, AUD USD with NZD USD, you can look for correlation. And between exotic pairs, you can look out for GBP JPY and Euro JPY. While in crypto, you can look at BTC and also Ethereum. So guys, if you find this video helpful, kindly like, comment, and share to people that you feel that this video will help them to become profitable traders. Bye. See you in next video.